Hello, Sagittarius. Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you all. You fill my heart with so much warmth. You know how I feel about the Sagittarian family, that we are, you all just are the best, and you make me so happy. I'm so grateful for you all. Your adventurous, bold spirits give me so much life. So thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. And welcome to November 2020, the beginning of Sag season. But also, I think for Sages, November is a complex month every year because we're in Scorpio season, in those few weeks before your birthday season, before we begin the beautiful, exploratory, expansive, intense time of Sag season. We're also doing some deep exploration internally in Scorpio, and for you this is a time of preparation. It's a time of going behind the scenes, getting really spiritual. However, I was noticing this month there's a lot of energy on your side. There's a lot of things that are like working with you to open you up to what's next, despite maybe everything else that's going on. When I look at just the astrology, and I'm really curious to see what the cards say, there's a lot of really supportive, beautiful energy for you. Mercury goes direct on the 3rd in Libra, in your 11th house of friendships and community. And I think there's been some review about what all of that means during this Venus retro or Mercury retrograde. So it's going forward. There's a lot more mental clarity there. Mars goes forward on the 13th of the month in Aries, in your fellow fire sign, in your 5th house of your heart. So there's forward motion here in your heart, in your community, in your friendships, in your mission. And then the moons are really supportive too. You have a new moon in Scorpio, very spiritual reset time, a really great time to just come back to some deep rituals. And then we have a full moon in Gemini in your opposing sign, which is so much about relationships, so much about how we connect to others on the very end of the month. So there's a lot just supporting Sagittarians this month. And this is a month of heart expansion for you. Now, I think that takes courage. I think it takes courage to be an optimist and to be a heart expander and to be that volcano of warmth, so to speak, during this year, right? It takes courage, like I think on an individual level, just within our own inner critic, our own inner guidance, our own, like, not guidance system, our own inner hierarchy that says, if this is going on in the world, then your optimism and your warmth is wrong somehow. And of course, you're not expected to be optimistic and warm 100% of the time. We've talked about this, Sag. You are allowed to have dark moments. And in fact, you know, Scorpio season for you is a time to go internal a little bit more. It's a time to be okay with like that part of yourself that is very mysterious, unseen, psychic, sensitive. It's a great time to let yourself have that. But I don't think it's an either or situation with this, right? I think you can tap into a very sensitive psychic part of yourself that can even feel a little dark at times, and come out, you know, in the later part of the day and feel optimistic and feel warm and feel hopeful. So I think you're going to be working with both this month. The final note before we start in on these cards is there's some important things going on. You all know that you were working with Saturn for a while there, right? And then you were working with Jupiter last year. It was amazing. Having Jupiter at home in Sag was such an amazing, intense ride. Jupiter has now been in Capricorn. Saturn's been in Capricorn. They're closing out. At the end of Sag season this year, they're leaving Capricorn, your neighboring sign. And this is important because it being in the 2nd house of like your money and what you own and your foundation when it comes to being kind of in the physical world has been getting some workshopping. But as we move into Aquarian energy more as a collective, you Sages are going to be feeling some of that more radical, free aspect of yourself coming out. 4 of Cups. And this isn't happening in November. But November is the last full month where we have these really heavy Capricorn placements. It's a time to get prepared for Sagittarians. It's a time to get really real. It's an interesting time as well for Saggies, right? Page of Wands, love it, because South Node is with you. It's with us. South Node work, it's not that it's negative. It's just that we have to review, how we're using our energy, how we're applying our natural gifts to the world. We're having to be okay with doing it in a different modality, and looking for different ways to move through the world. 9 of Swords. I did say this month was going to be complex for you all. A dualistic month in many ways. Part expansion, part review, part nervousness, part hope. 2 of Cups. Love it. Okay, we're going to start with that. South Node work can be intense, but I think what I'm going to say, which I say all the time to you guys, between Scorpio season in your 12th house and the South Node work that you're doing, and also the Jupiter-Saturn work you're doing in your 2nd house, it's okay for you to tap into the sensitive parts of yourself that aren't big, bold, and optimistic all the time, and to take some time with them. And the cards are actually speaking to this. And they're speaking to, like I said, the fact you don't have to choose either being in the shadows and the dark all the time or being bright, shining light. Both can be together in the same day. Often in the same day, especially this year. So 4 of Cups. I actually have a very big tenderness for this card. I think 4 of Cups energy is so helpful. It's a pause. The number 4 is about culminating and closing something out in tarot. And in general, it's about completion. It's about coming to understanding with something that needs a moment to be understood. And in taking that moment, we allow for this rush of energy. So if you have something you're waiting on, you have something you're really impatient or hungry for, you have something you just want to get going, and like, where is it? It's that thing of relax into what you have around you now. Really pay attention to the colors, the sights, the sounds around you now. Relax, put your guard down a little bit, get prepared, get open. These things are already on their way. The boomerang's already been sent out. It's already on its way back. You may not see it all yet, but you'll see it much more easily when you take some pressure off yourself. So November, you may feel like you have to practice more into that side of yourself. Now, it's not just about sitting passively by and letting the world just go by and being like, okay, well, I just have to wait until things get better, because the Page of Wands is here. To me, Saggies, I think you love this energy, and it is speaking to something important, which is playfulness, which is curiosity, which is trying new things. This is the very excited novice. This guy is so excited to try new things and so excited to explore and play, even though he's not good at it yet, even though he's learning and figuring out what the heck any of this means, even though he's all over the place. He's excited to explore and play and start some sparks in the world. And I think when I think about, a card like the 4 of Cups, where you're being asked to integrate and to make space and to relax in, it's not just about meditating 12 hours a day. It's not just about being bored, sitting still, getting impatient, just feeling like you're itching to leave. It's about finding ways to play now. Play with what you have and really have fun with it. Give yourself that permission to have fun with it. Those sparks are opening the door. Now we gotta cover this 9 of Swords, right? Because here she is, our lovely friend, the middle of the night warrior, who just is thinking about all the things that could go wrong, that may go wrong, the voice inside of ourselves that is very afraid. The inner child that has been through some things and is very nervous to trust. And this card comes up when we know things are changing. We know we're changing. We know the feeling of the world is changing. We know that our shape is changing. We know that what we could rely on last year or 6 months ago is not the same anymore. And the worried part of ourselves says, what if this isn't safe? What if I'm not allowed to be playful? What if I'm not allowed to be optimistic or hopeful? What if I'm not allowed to be open? What if it's not okay? And when the Nine of Swords shows up, for me, this is an acknowledgement of something that you may be feeling. Not so much an acknowledgement of things happening in the real world, but it's an acknowledgement of some of your process and some of what's going on for you. And the Nine of Swords is just a nod. If this comes up for you, don't let it dictate you. Sit with it, nourish it, be kind to it, give it space to breathe, and then self-mother, self-nurture and say, it's okay, sweetie. It's okay, my heart. You're safe. You're safe to grow into this. You're safe to become this. You're safe to explore this. Because we end with the fourth card here, the Two of Cups. And like I said, there's a lot of supportive energy here for you. There's a ton of this playful, loving energy moving through for you. Very connective, very playful, very full of love and heart and creativity and warmth. And there's growth going on this month. The Two of Cups is a nod to that, is a nod to the joy and the playfulness and the fun. And I think this year you got to trust this part of yourself, right? You have support. You have support here. These cards are actually extremely supportive. Nine of Swords is just the fear that comes up when things are going well, when we're excited, when we're open again, and we're not sure if we're allowed to trust it or not, right? We're not sure. Now, I am going to be pulling a final card today from the Animal Totem Tarot by Lisa Robertson. It's beautiful. I love these images. It brings a different voice into our conversation, and it brings another message. So let's see what we have here. Seven of Cups. Okay, a very complex energy. Let us look up what the Seven of Cups is all about. I gotta find it here in this book. She writes these beautiful messages for each of the cards. So Seven of Cup is the dragonfly, and you can see that there. Very spiritual. It's a very spiritual month for Saggies. This is the message of the dragonfly. As we dance and buzz in the air, the sun catches our sparkling iridescent surface, and just like that, we have your attention. Before long, we have you in a trance-like state, dreaming away about all that has been and could be. You are so transfixed by our small bodies that time stands still and you totally get lost in the moment. Then, just like the snap of someone's fingers, it's all over and you are left to center, focus, and bring yourself and your dreams back down to earth. I think that is such a perfect description of November for you all. Scorpio season asks you to dream. It asks you to imagine, open your heart, explore, use your imagination in wise ways, right? Imagination is a form of planning, as Gloria Steinem once said. Or dreaming is a form of planning, she actually said. But the Seven of Cups is a speaking to that process of letting yourself expand, letting yourself dream, letting yourself go there, using your dreams wisely. And then once Sagittarius season hits, bringing it back down to the earth. And we'll get more into that as December elapses. And as we get into 2021, this month is really a time to prepare. Like I said, prepare. Get ready for some of that pressure to ease off your second house as we move energy into, I think, a much more flowing energy for you, which is Aquarius. This is a time to start getting very deliberate with your dreams. Use your thoughts wisely. The Nine of Swords can come in and take a lot of our time. We've all been there in phases where we have let the catastrophic worry voice be the dominant voice in our day-to-day and to just hold us captive, right? And this month, there's a question here. There's an asking here for you to make sure that you are noticing when that voice comes up, saying, thank you for worrying, thank you for caring about me, but you gotta sit back a little bit. I know, I've got this covered. We're gonna be okay. So that is the beautiful message for my Saggies this month. Take good care of your thoughts. take good care of your spirit. Get into some practices that feel really good for you, that connect you to the divine, that give you that moment to breathe, that come back to that heart space, because Sagittarius, you have some important work to do in the coming months. And this month is really an opportunity for you to just get yourself set up to shine bright, 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 bright. I'm so excited for you all. I'm going to be doing a lot of extra support in November over on Patreon, closing out Mars retrograde. That's a big deal. It's going to be a really amazing energetic time starting then. All these big moons that we have moving through, they're very powerful. There's a lot to work with there. And of course, the beginning of Sag season. So if you're looking for extra support, I'd love to see you there. You can find me on Instagram and my website. All the links are right below in the description box. You can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop. I'll leave her link below. I love you, Saggies, so much. Take such good care of yourselves. I'll see you for a continuation of Sag season in December. And for all the full and new moons right here on the channel, click to subscribe so that you never miss me. And I will see you all so soon. Mwah.